say that the army is the resemblance of the people living in one country. Unfortunately, we live in a world where these two concepts come to clash, because we live in a world where armies are actually forced to beat down the population in the country because the ruling class desires so. We live in a world where the army is set and is driven to push populations in remote areas like Iraq or other war areas to be destroyed, to be forced down. And we're saying that this isn't the true concept of an army. This isn't the concept of the army that should be defending one territory. This isn't the concept of the army that should be defending the population in its own countries. And we today, by proving through 3 points, we're going to show you why the army should be privatized and why we should have an army that belongs to all people, not just the ruling class in one society. And the first point is decentralizing state-owned power. Because the army right now is an extension of the ruling class in one country. The army right now says that, look, we're going to do everything that the ruling class demands, and the population in the country is not represented in this process that we're taking. So the army basically is used by the ruling class, by the politicians in one country to bring the population down. And we've seen this in countries such as Burma, and we've seen this in countries such as Iran, where the Republican Guard was forced upon the election of President Ahmadinejad. When people in the country rebelled against the election of Ahmadinejad, the Republican Guard was beating down people on the street because they were rebelling. And this is the sort of using that an army has in countries such as Iran. We're saying that these things would not happen if we have armies that are private, because armies that are private are not collectively owned by the state, are not this bigger entity that own the army. They belong to every citizen
Every citizen from that country.
Da, așa.
Each citizen.
Așa, each citizen. We're saying that these things happen because once you have the army that is collectively owned and owned at the same time by each citizen, the citizen is actually accessing a private service. He's no longer accessing a common good of the society, but he's saying that, look, I have these people that I want to be protected, and where these people will protect me. These people will not be able to come inside my own country and beat me down because I rebel against some leader being elected. And this sort of things would not happen if we had a private army. Further on, we're going to talk about war involvement. Because right now, these sorts of armies, these armies like the USA Army, involved in wars because they are driven by this bigger entity, by this political machinations to come inside those countries and pursue some political goals. We're saying that this is not the purpose of an army. Conquering other countries is not the purpose of an army in the 21st century. The purpose of an army is to defend one population. The purpose of an army is to protect. And we're saying we cannot have protection once we have some political goals pursued outside the borders of one country. So we're saying for these things to stop, for these people to be represented in an army, we have to have them. We have to have them involved in the process of choosing them. If they pay money that goes to the state cannot say that, look, we're going to take these people and we're going to spend money on them, and you're not going to have a say in how your money are spent. We're saying that every individual has right now, by having a private army, has the right to intervene inside the decision of a country because it is his money that chose that army. So we're basically saying that if we want this war involvement to stop, then we're going to... N-am terminat?
Mai 10 secunde.
Mă, că vorbesc în gura cea de jucători.
5, 4.
La privatize.
Please privatize the army. Thank you.